The date was June 4th, 2000, at Staples Center, Los Angeles, California. The Lakers and Blazers are tied 3-3 in a back-and-forth series. And with a high-stakes Game 7 on the line with both teams full of absolute stars, this game was one for the ages. The Lakers trailed 75-60 with about 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. At that point, everyone thought the game was over. The Lakers would be required to score 25% of what they had already scored just to catch up with 10 minutes left in a Game 7 where scoring was near impossible. But the Lakers shifted into another gear defensively, forcing missed shots and turnovers that fueled their momentum. This was critical as Portland's high-powered offense led by Rasheed Wallace, Scottie Pippen, and Steve Smith had dominated through the first three quarters. And who led this fourth quarter comeback? Kobe Bryant. Drink your water. Kobe's defense was crucial in creating turnovers and tough shots, which helped the Lakers slowly chip away at that Blazers lead. Kobe made several key baskets down the stretch, from attacking the rim to the mid-range and even drawing out Portland's defense to give other Lakers an opportunity to score. With just about 40 seconds left in the game and the Lakers being up 4 points, and what happened next was one of the most iconic moments in NBA history.
Portland has 3 timeouts left. The Lakers have 2. Bryant to Shaq!
That play was crucial in the trust that Kobe and Shaq built to win their 3 championships. If the Lakers don't win this game, their entire dynasty, their entire three-peat, it falls apart. This game truly pushed the Lakers to the absolute limits and helped the Lakers understand what they were truly capable of. And as the game came to a close, Kobe Bryant had 25 points, 11 rebounds, and 7 assists with 4 blocks. And Shaq finishing with 18 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 blocks as well. Does this really sound like Kobe Bryant was the sidekick to Shaquille O'Neal?
No.
So when we start talking about the greats like LeBron and D. Wade, Magic and Kareem, Jordan and Pippen and Shaq and Kobe, all of these players were the focal points of their teams that won championships, except only one of these players ever gets called a sidekick, and that player is Kobe Bryant. Easily one of the greatest players the league has ever seen, yet because of the sheer awe factor of his teammate, people actually think he was carried by Shaq. And in this video, we're going to discuss the unfair stigma against Kobe when he's compared to these other duos. Almost every one of my channel's viewers is not subscribed to the channel. Do me a huge favor and hit that subscription button. We're trying to get monetized. My dog and I. Let's start with the most obvious and glaring of them all, Magic and Kareem. When Magic came into the league, he was blessed to join a team that already had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who at that point was undoubtedly the best player in the league. Kareem had already won 5 MVPs and had a championship to his name, neither of which Shaq had until the 2000 season, and at that point, Kobe had already joined the team. Kareem and Magic would then go on to win 5 championships together. This means that Magic did not win a single championship without arguably the greatest player in NBA history by his side. Many argue that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar could be the GOAT with his 6 championships and 6 MVPs, which is the most of any player in history, one more than Michael Jordan. And the same can be said for Kareem. He won most of all of his accolades with Magic at his side. He finished his career with 5 championships and 3 MVPs, including 3 finals MVPs. And that isn't even to mention that he is the greatest passer of all time. I'm not sure that's really even debatable. Kareem and Magic were truly the perfect combination. They were a match made in basketball heaven. But this is where we can move the focus back to Shaq and Kobe. We can recognize that Shaq was never considered the greatest player of all time like Kareem or Magic was, meaning both Kareem and Magic, who are both rated on mainstream media polls ahead of Kobe and Shaq individually, are not held to the same standard. Magic never won anything without potentially the greatest player of all time on his team, and that exact same statement applies for Kareem. He won 5 of his 6 championships with Magic Johnson, who's potentially the greatest player of all time, right by his side. And when you look at Kobe Bryant, he won 5 championships without a GOAT level player on his team. Neither Kareem or Magic can say that. In fact, Kobe is the only one in this group who won championships without another top 75 player on his team, and he did it back to back. No other player in history has done that. In both the 2009 and 2010 finals, Pau Gasol averaged 18 points a game, and while he did average 10 rebounds, these are not exactly the type of numbers, nor is he really the type of player that compares to the other type of players we're speaking about right now. When we look at LeBron James championships, he played with players like Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love, and then of course Anthony Davis. LeBron James has never won a championship without an absolutely stacked team around him. In 2016, Kyrie Irving averaged 25 points a game. In 2020, Anthony Davis averaged 28 points, and in 2012, Dwayne Wade averaged 23 points. The one year that we can honestly look at LeBron's career and say that he was the absolute focal point and reason they won that year was in 2013, when LeBron James James was the only person on his team to average over 20 points in the finals. Dwayne Wade was barely averaging 15 points a game, and Chris Bosh was down at about 12 points. And then finally, of course, you have Michael Jordan with Scottie Pippen and Phil Jackson, one of the greatest coaches, if not the greatest of all time. Many will argue that Michael Jordan was the only reason that team was as good as it was, but that can be easily combated with how good the Bulls were when Michael Jordan left in 1994. They went 55-27 in the regular season, and were it not for a highly controversial call in the Eastern semifinals against the Knicks, the Bulls could have legitimately made it to the finals. But no one was beating the Rockets that year. Hakeem Olajuwon was on another level. We really were robbed of a Hakeem versus Michael Jordan finals. That would have been legendary. But that's a video for another time. Now that we've highlighted these other duos and how they've worked together and how they couldn't have won their championships without the others, let's look at Kobe Bryant's impact in these playoffs over their 3 championships. When you look at the years 2000, 2001, and 2002, and how Kobe and Shaq performed against the Western Conference specifically in those first 3 rounds, you can see here that there's no clear sidekick. For those who watched the NBA back in the early 2000s or those who know their history, the NBA Finals, the championship, it went through the Western Conference. The Western Conference Finals was actually the true championship. You can even look here at the 2001 playoffs and see that Kobe Bryant actually had a higher points per game average than Shaq did. And with him averaging 6 assists per game, that also puts another dent in the idea that he was a ball hog, that he was selfish. Do the Lakers sniff the finals without Kobe Bryant? Absolutely not. Let's see us drink your water. Understanding why Shaq was the finals MVP each championship is once again understanding how the NBA was set up in those days. When you look at their Eastern Conference opponents in all 3 finals, the obvious answer was just to feed the ball to Shaq. Their opponents were both inferior in size and coaching. Where the Western Conference was lacking in size, they more than made up for it in coaching and people like Greg Popovich. They could figure out schemes and strategies to slow down Shaq, which is what made Kobe even more important. One of the main reasons Shaq could never win a championship without a shooting guard by his side, whether it be Kobe Bryant or Dwayne Wade, is that Shaq could get you 90% of the way there. He could do everything that he could to put you in position to win. But as the game slowed down and free throws became increasingly more important, a person like Shaq, who was notoriously known for being a horrible free throw shooter, cannot bring these games home in the playoffs. This is another example of a match made in heaven, where Shaq was this massive blunt force, Kobe was a fine-tuned assassin that could do anything needed on both sides of the ball. Having duos like Kobe and Shaq, Kareem Magic, AD and LeBron, or Jordan and Pippen, it's like having 2 queens on the chessboard at the same time. They can virtually do everything everyone else can do, but even better. It's time we start treating these men like the queens they are.
What?
On the basketball court, I mean. Alright, that's enough yapping for today. And I'm gonna leave you all with a few words the commentator had right after Kobe sent that lob up to Shaq in the Western Conference Finals. Kobe did all that.
Kobe Bryant's 2 free throws and then a jumper gave the Lakers a 4-point lead. And now his assist to Shaquille O'Neal makes it a 6-point difference.
And if you enjoyed this video, think about watching either of these videos that's on the screen. As always, hit that sub button and turn on notifications. Go out there and do something great.